A little problem here. I can see the screen. On the BV, what's happening? Where's the screen? Oh, it is. Music a bit down here, a bit down here. All good. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Joe Mope. Notorious Pope is here. Wally. Jenny. Bruce. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you are all doing good on this day. We have a lot of things to review on Bitcoin, right? My main ID, I've been invalidated. Of course, we had quite a significant move down, right? It's not a complete crash, but we did broke down our consolidation here, and so things are not looking the greatest now for continuation. We lost the confluence with 2019 run that we had. That was looking at a fractal right from it's not here anymore. From 2019 bull run, this is now broken, and my internet look great today. Okay, anyway, so we're gonna we're gonna try to forecast what can happen next. I've been looking at many things, trying to see what count makes the most sense here, but with that I will need more confirmation. I would need more price action development to have a real forecast. For now, what I can see is that we are likely going down more. Highs mainly on the previous consolidation, but yeah, things aren't looking great here, to say the least. Nothing is lost. It's not because we went down a few percent here, 4% below the range, then we have to call 9K right away, but it really reduces the bullish momentum we had. And so now we have a lot of support below us, but we don't know how long they're gonna hold, right? So I didn't finish to look at not every possible, but every sensible scenarios yet. I really look at the chart from different point of view today, trying to come with a clear chart, clear mind, but it takes time, and right now we don't have any local reversal that could inform us a bit more what could happen. For now, we don't have a finish of the recent impulse down, and it looked like my internet is completely broken here. Wow. Gosh. Oh, it's okay. It's holding. What can I do? LTE. I think I'm still live, but it's really not great. Okay, I'm gonna try to change the 4G antenna I'm connected to. Sometimes that solves the problem. Oh, it's back at green. Okay, let's try it. Hope it doesn't go down. I don't have the energy to deal with that right now. Yeah. Delirium. Dinner time. Good appetit. Joker is here. Swooping Hawk. Liquid. Good to see you. So yeah, first of all, let's review the obvious. Well, we did have the possibility of a flat here. Already deleted? No, it's here. Just hardly loading. Is this invalidated yet? It's not invalidated in the sense that we don't have a running flat, but we can still have an expanded flat in theory, right? Now, I was looking at this still on Thursday, yeah, before we continue the move down here. So, okay, cool. If we were to hold here, as it was yesterday, if my chat not loads, it's not going to be helpful. So the idea that I had yesterday, say, okay, we went down further that I wanted. It's still valid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that can still, if it holds, it's fine. Now the fact that we lost range low, well, in theory we can still have an expanded flat like this, right? If I take my FIB expansion tool here, expanded flat up to 161.8 is fine. We know that Bitcoin also live big expanded flat that go down to the 261.8. So in theory, that's also still good. You know, we could come back down to 20,500 and still be fine. 382 confluence here, with the idea that this is still the top of Web3. Okay, connection established. Internet come back. YouTube now, tell me it's fine. There's a delay. There's a delay. Come on. Come on. OBS is green and YouTube saying me I'm offline still. I think. Or am I? Okay, I think I'm back online now. Hello, Toms. Now, well, I can see you, Queenie, Polo. There's a lot of people. It will really be a shame if I can be live. Yeah, I'm sorry that make poor content if I hear winning for 20 minutes about stuff not working. And I think it's okay now. We're gonna give another try. If really is a struggle, I may have to stop the stream and just record my update and upload it later. So yeah, sorry if that happened. But receiving okay, great, good. So I was saying, so initial running flat has been invalidated. Yesterday we still had one that was correct, but losing yesterday low was starting to get iffy, and especially knowing what the third was, how 30 news were becoming, yeah. So yeah, starting to have the possibility of a real breakdown, and I don't really feel that as a good low at all right now. We can still find accounts that fit, you know, but no. So in theory, if I just focus on this move here to here, and the expansion tool, and the retracement of the big wave 4 that big wave 3 that finish up here, I can have the 3-2 that is a very good retrace for wave 4. So I have confidence for a big expanded flat like Bitcoin like to do sometime to the 261.8, and this fib retrace and previous support, and maybe even the 200 daily moving average. Daily. No, the daily is still lower. Okay. Or the EMA daily. So it was higher than that. Okay, we have 200 daily EMA just below us. We'll see if that holds, but I don't feel like it. So if I'm focusing on this, on the big picture, and I don't try to count the sub count here at the moment, I can see things potentially finding support around 20,600, a bit less. And in theory, we still have this as a potential wave 4, you know. We don't completely invalidate this idea of having a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we can still make a higher high here. It's still a possible path. It's just that the context is not great here, I must say. The fact that we didn't manage to keep the bullish trend, the bullish fractal from 2019, and we didn't manage to take the high here before going on a deeper retrace that broke this strong uptrend that we had, that shows weakness to me. And we saw CVD as well, all aggregated CVD that was trending down quite aggressively during that range. So you know that builds bullish divergence in the sense that you have lots of markets selling, but as long as they're getting absorbed, they are at risk of being squeezed up. But the fact that they succeed to break down, that makes this range a very aggressive selling that succeed. And in the context that we have, as you may know or not, depending if you're looking at news, but you know, there is apparently quite an aggressive attack from US governmental services, different ones that are attacking the crypto industry as a whole, right? Exchanges, stablecoin, altcoins with staking, etc., etc. So you know, there is like a coordinated attack, and that happened at the moment we were on a lower high, and we had aggressive selling happening just prior to this news breakout, right? Suggesting there was insiders selling it. And so now we still have this as a potential running flat. So surely the bearish potential increase as we lost the low of the range, and we didn't just do an SFP, you know. If we had just made yesterday a dump below that range, but we recover during the day and starting to close back inside the range, that would have been really fine. That would have been just a stop end, right? It's the fact that we closed fully at the low of the price action from yesterday increase again more the bearish sentiment there is here. That said, we are still locally in a bullish market structure. We have a lot of support. We have this consolidation, we have the POC, we have the 200 daily moving averages, exponential one and simple one. There is other support as well, 21 weekly. I don't know, you know, we claimed several key resistances, several item frame key resistances on this run up. So now there's support, but I'm not feeling great about it at the moment. So first thing first for me is to, well, try to forecast the potential pass, of course. It is not done yet. And having my eyes on, especially on the next big support that are for me previous range, basically 3-2 support, POC, golden pocket of the rise, which would be a bit below POC, I suppose. On log, it's yeah, significantly below. So POC, that would be previous range resistance. On linear, yeah, a bit higher. So we can look at all of them, potentially have long plays there, but while keeping in mind that this could be just bounces that fail ultimately, and we can do continue lower. And we do have these scenarios, high time frame Elliott Wave on Bybit USD daily 12 hour steady. So the running flat, where is my count for that? Okay. So I was looking for this expanded flat, right? But running flat is also a valid one, and so yeah, it's possible that we just printed an ABC here, which would suggest that we will take the low of December then. What would be the count correlated to that? It can be what is highlighted here on this chart, meaning we have a wave A down, and this was a wave B, and we're going for a wave C. Let me check the retrace from the top to see if we have a bit confluent for that. Wave 4 log, we are in between on linear 146 to be a really aggressive one. Okay, and from wave 2 straight. Alternatively, I come to another count that I've been suggesting by some, including luxury. I think that is its main bearish count. The idea is to have a 1, 2, 3, keeping this as a running flat, as a 4, and we are going for the 5th. If that's the case, what's the target for 5th? Well, target for the 5th, we can take the length of wave 1, project it from wave 4, and 1, 1 is the ideal here, which brings us to about 11,600. Minimum is below the low here, so we can find support 13k. You know, I cannot forecast this at the moment. If we come down and I can start to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have a bit more confluence, and we can see that the setting is absorbed as we broke down. If we do, then fine, we can see the maximum extension for a 5th can come back to the 161.8 here, or 0.618 of 1 plus 3. So, you know, next big support will be the 9k here, POC. If we lose the monthly below our December range, should we break down? So that's a potential pass. Now, the thing with that, that will build 5 waves down with an expanded flat that will not be much a sensible count anymore. We would break the idea of this being a 1, 2, 3, 4. It was still possible here, but if we overlap wave 1, that become a lot less likely, especially if this expanded flat go way too expanding. you know, 261.8 is kind of fine, but on this size, it's really big. So, you know, whatever is the count, I would personally choose my favorites with more data, with more price action. I want to see if we find support where we have them right now, or if we will successfully take the high, or this too high, right? And if we do get a reverse, how high we go, or if we break down, and if we break down, in which manner. What would be the volume? What would be the wave structure? What target give me the sub-wave structure? I don't know them for now because it will be just the beginning here. I don't have a 1-2 to count from, you know. And this 1-2 is not enough. So at some point we'll have a big bounce. Most likely we'll finish a bigger one and bounce and then go down. But before that happens, I cannot really forecast much here. And what would be also the political context and everything, because if some US regulators are going for crypto, are coming for crypto, we don't know exactly how much they will do. They can do a lot of pain. But yeah, if we do find support, if we do build a higher low here in this structure, what could that become? Well, so we know that wave 4 retrace ideally is 236.382. Down to the 50%, it's okay. 146 is a show of strength. If it doesn't retrace more than that, 0.618 is not really a target for wave 4, but you know, invalidation for wave 4 is to overlap top of wave 1, which is here or here, but let's consider the top of this rise as important. So in theory, we can still be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 4 down here, 5, and still build an impulsive move that can still be part of an expanding, a bearish expanding diagonal, or can be wave 1 of the new run, and we come back and we go for the 2 and the 3, okay? So this is still sensible play to have in mind. Now, if we finish this, no, that's not what I wanted to say. Now, if we take the fib extension here, initially I had this as wave 1, right? I'm looking at this more as an expanded flat here, 1, 2. So this was a very good candidate for wave 3. But if we take this on log now, wave 3 could potentially extend a lot more to 561.8. And it is permitted here to forecast potentially this as a sub-wave 1 of the larger 3. That would allow a bit more drawdown, a bit longer, potentially 2 golden pocket, to the low of the range, to the POC, whatever. This has a 2, and we go for the 3, 4, 5 to complete the bigger 3 here. And build a bigger impulse instead of looking at this retrace as a 4 5 and we come back for a 2. We extend the big wave 3, or the big wave 3. We extend the wave 3 here. This has 1 still, and yeah, we oh. No, that's what's supposed to be here, sorry. We're going for the 5th, and then we can still come back on this consolidation to build a really good bullish structure, break some resistance, etc. We could even go a bit higher than that. and still I have this as a good support. But until it happens, you know, price needs to show itself. For now, we can forecast down, we can forecast up, we can forecast in between. The only thing I know for sure is my main ID is invalidated, and for now I don't have signs. I have signs of weakness. I don't have signs of local reversal yet. So that's how I'm gonna approach things from now. I have what do I have in position? Well, I have still a bit of short from up here, because you know, in the idea of us being in running flat here, I wanted to short here that I shared. I don't remember if I did publicly, but at least in the Discord. That was especially prepared for me to try to catch big long position on this ID here and be protected in case I was wrong. So I did took profit here on the other side of my position, and I kept just an edge. So I remain edge on that. Long position, I had some low leverage position that I'm probably gonna look to exit now. I compounded some long from down there on the June and March contract. Yeah, I compounded them around there. So I'm probably gonna exit them. Point, just waiting for some kind of bounce probably. And yeah, I will take the things more basically. The trend is down, so favoring more letting on short running, but overall being in more of a day trade mindset where I took profit on both sides, whatever it is. So I can take daily long or short, but I take pretty quick and aggressive profit, and I don't let much position to run. Maybe a bit less on the short until I see some kind of sign of strength, and that's it. I didn't took much trade recently. I took a one long earlier. Thankfully, I did took profit because it didn't quite go well. We had here on the big dump on the 1 minute, we could see absorption and bullish divergence locally on the 1 minute with short spilling in. So I took a long somewhere in here. I took profit on that. Maybe that's continued to rise back, I don't know, but yeah, the only thing I know is that I don't know now. And I don't think we finished to go down. So should we maybe do, I don't know, something like this, build 5, could be a short, EBC, and we take the high, could be another short, continuation. We can start to build a range here. We see there's absorption, there's volume. It was diminishing until then. Maybe we just continue the breakdown, I don't know. But if we recover here, I will still favor to take short at sensible place, especially as we take the highs here. If we start to see long getting absorbed, you know, we can still keep short and range play overall, with the idea that we're likely to have another leg down still. Likely. What would be the sign of strength that I would want to see to change my mind? Well, until and unless we reclaim this zone, the only things remain bearish. Midterm. Right? If we consider this from a Wyckoff point of view, this is a show of weakness. We broke down the range and we closed daily below the range, so that's like a big deal, you know. It's not an SFP, it's a mid-term frame, at high-term frame, closed below, and at the low of the move. So pretty bad, in my opinion. But from a Wyckoff point of view, we can be expecting a retest of previous range But it's possible that was all the retest we would have had was this one. So I'm not even sure we'll get it. But looking at here, the volumes kick in really on this candle where we have the capitulation. Then we have still quite some volume here. So we see there is a bit of absorption, probably take profit from the short. And long getting stopped out on liquidate, of course. And here it is spot, but yeah, it is, yeah, we have this low of the range and we have kind of a trend line support. So, you know, it's not really precise, but the idea here. And so, yeah, this is resistance. I made my box of resistance up to that swing high just because based on the lower time frame count here, I don't really see any completion from this. I can see that there is a move down, there is a lot of overlapping, but overall there is a move down and there is a corrective move that changed the market structure here on the 1 hour. So for me, I have an impulse and a corrective here. Pretty clear now. From that high, I'm hardly seeing any completion. We could maybe build something like this, but it doesn't reach my target. So the bearish case here is that we have a succession of 1, 2, 1, 2 waves. I can count 5 waves down from here to here, or one of the lows here. So if we were to take that high, well, things turn out pretty bullish again. That means that all of the selling here is trapped now. That's a... I know that's very far away, but any move up that would happen here, I would rather still be a seller of that. Should we reclaim this or even just breach it and have some kind of IVish impulsive structure here, maybe I'll look to buy a retrace then. Until that happens, I'm expecting lower. Okay, cool. So yeah, and here, yeah, volume, you know, that show how it is not great. This increase in selling pressure and in acceleration. In Wyckoff terms, that's not good. Unless this crucial volume breaker does get engulfed. But so far, yeah, that's not great. We are seeing increased pressure. And now the big spike of volume that we had at the top, yeah, become supply. Where supply, but that supply that is way in control now. That range was kind of weird. We learn every day, you know, watching the market. But it was really, really aggressive selling. I was still pretty bullish, especially here, and especially I had this expanding diagonal scenario here. Yeah, I went quite heavy long here. And I catch 3 long here at this low, at the very, very close of the low. So I still managed to catch a bit of profit here. Not so much here, because I was expecting higher. So I did keep most of my position opened. But yeah, this is where things turn not good. To me, I was probably not quick enough to forecast a bearish scenario, but yeah, thankfully there was other people in the crew to have a bearish setups here. I think Luke went into several short yesterday here, rightfully. And probably others. I didn't watch everybody what they was doing, but I guess. But yeah, we had this sign of weakness, but I didn't even have a corrective move readable here completed, so we don't have catch much on this. Now the only thing I can do is keep watching the market, what it does, where we get reaction, where do we get volume, is the volume getting absorbed or not, and see from them. I can forecast 1200 of counts here potentially, but there will be no meaning in that because everything can happen. So you can forecast everything, but that doesn't. It's not helpful. So I would say try to be a bit more concise. That yes, we can still be into wave 4. We can even consider this the top of the 5th of the 3. Can count maybe even a corrective move down here. We can still consider us being a wave 4, even if we come down to 19700s, but the lower we get, the less probable it becomes that we are in a wave 4. We can still expect a bounce at some point, bounce of some sort. That would most likely be an opportunity to go into short, in my opinion. We can also still look at this as a potential wave, sub-wave 2 of the 3rd, or even, but not likely. I can even say this is 1 completed and we're going into a 2. So we can still study what happened here, but I would suggest, not financial advice, to be aggressive on your take profits, whatever side you take them, right? Well, whatever side you take the trade. I mean, for me, that's our trip. That was an ideal trend for me to trade in an Elliott Wave manner with forecasting a trend and higher targets. Now I'm gonna come back to, day trade and more aggressive take profit. I was trying to take a look at this whole range still from the Wyckoff view. Just trying to study that volume, see what I can see this structure overall on the big picture and locally here. You know, when you're unsure, well, I take another kind of view. And so I will say what I've said to others privately. Yes, this is still support, especially as long as we stay above POC here. We still have a range that can be accumulation here. So we can just look at this as a range that continues. So if we reach down there, still have a long bias, I suppose. But there's nothing very clear here. It seems that it's still a good candidate for accumulation because you can see how you have this that broke down here, right? And you look at the volume. So here you have your big volume coming in and slowing down the trend. So here you have distribution, the preliminary supply that stops the acceleration or try to stop it. Then you continue to rise and you're starting to see increase in supply here with the big liquidation event that helps the drawdown here, and increase in supply and in spread, accelerate down. It got absorbed. You can see there is still quite high volume in this tightening range. There is almost no volume in this moment. That's just market maker letting the late seller coming to help a squeeze to get out of the range locally. But then you got a rise on no volume, no demand, nothing. quite weird thing that happened here. Potentially helped by some kind of Alameda price manipulation, whatever. But nothing much happened here. Then you have still increase here in the selling volume and still acceleration in here. Yet you can see how selling is absorbed on the last candle here, because you have your biggest candle and yet your biggest volume candle, and yet it is one of the smallest candle of the drawdown here. But you have your capitulation here, lower volume and acceleration. That's normal because you have an SFP, so people hold on the SFP, and if you lose your SFP, things are quite bad. Let's say that's still kind of absorption, so that can still be preliminary support in theory. But the fact that we don't manage to test preliminary support on either of this rise, that shows weakness. Let's say we can see that volume get greater as we approach here. This is kind of a weird volume that happened during a FOMC event or whatever, and that is not everywhere. So I'm not sure I'm considering this as a real volume. I mean, it is real, but I'm almost considering comparing these two volumes are quite the same here. This like insider selling the FTX news that came later and absorbing it here, get into a squeeze. But I have no information to confirm any of that. But that is really weird what happened here. Now, this big volume, yes, suggests indeed that the biggest volume that you see in all the downtrade come here on one of the most bearish events. Yet you can see that the spread on this move down is smaller than every other ones almost. So suggesting absorption, that was what turning me a bit more bullish at the low at some point. And the fact that we engulf all that selling with lesser volume, suggesting path of least resistance. Now there is this weird thing where we see sustained high volume, not very, very high, but still sustained high here, and deceleration here. So control selling happened here. Now what we want to see if these buyers that broke up the range and the seller from here, because there is a lot of volume that happened into that event, are they gonna hold a higher low here? So that's why I'm looking locally still potentially at a wave 4, but overall from a volume perspective, yeah, POC makes sense here. We want to see what this buyer gonna do. Look at the last consolidation before we stop accelerating, before we start decelerate. So here where we have a lot of sellers. Are the sellers from here gonna buy back their position here? Are the buyers from here did sold here or not, but are they gonna defend this? That's what I want to see. What happened here, how it does. Everything good. Rado channel, you're gay. Good for you, buddy. It is a sad day for many bulls, so it's good if you're okay. Pause. So yeah, you know, I'm looking at lots of stuff. I'm sorry, it's not yet totally cleared my mind, but I cannot have things as much clear until things cleared up. For now, we are going down, and I didn't really predict that move down. I was still quite bullish here. That was a wrong call from me. So, you know, at some point you need to take a step back and reflect again, and that can take some time to think about everything, see how it develops. But yet, again, here no volume, little volume, and breakdown significant, and yet lower volume on a daily overall, but the spread is bigger than what happened here. On the 4 hour, we can see the increase in selling pressure. On a daily time frame, there is less volume. So there is two things here. There is more interest in selling in some sense, because we can see the increase in selling on the lower time frame. At the same time, there is more control of the seller because of the higher time frame on the daily. We have less volume and yet more efficient selling, more efficient drawdown, a move down that got more spread and close at the low. So that's why I don't feel very confident about that yet. I don't see any sign of strength. I did try to make a few lower time frame count earlier. One that was, still considering potentially a corrective move. Say, okay, we had the 1-1 extension. We have some kind of interesting support. We have the 1-1 extension. We have this ABC here. We have clear 5 here and clear 5 here. So that could be WXY. But yeah, now it's failing. So I try to think about many time frame count that I have. At some point I need to see a bit of longer, bigger bounce that suggests me, okay, now I have something down finished here on this. Okay, let me rephrase that. I have pretty high confidence that I have one move finished here, an actionary move, and a corrective move finished here. So now I need to count from this move. And to finish this, I would need a bigger bounce telling me, okay, now I have a good candidate for a wave 4. Let me come back on what happened here, what degree it is. It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe it is lower degree, etc. But I need to see this kind of bounce to say, okay, now buyers are starting to get back in control. Late sellers are starting to get underwater. So that gives us hope that on the next move down, that might be a 5 of some sort, and that could be interesting to buy. Whatever it's the higher context. Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is it an ABC? I don't know for sure, but at least it gives potential for a larger trend. Maybe even retest previous support as resistance, We can come back at some point, retest the POC of that range later on. If we complete 5 down and we have a move back up, and we can keep play with available supply here. We have support, now we have new resistances to play with. And if we come back higher, well, we know where to watch. And depending how the price action evolve from the low we would have print, we'll have maybe a bit more precision, trying to read an ABC, trying to read the 5-ish finish here, confluence with a golden pocket, with a POC, with a value and low, whatever it is. Weekly level, that will come with time. So yeah, how does that look right now? There's two low time frame count on this. 1, 2, 3. S3 could come back down here. That seems a bit far for the 5th. No, it could. Maybe we hold here and we keep ranging here. At that point, might suggest me that we are already in the wave 4 here, and that both of that count might be even not correct. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 1, a 2, and we're in a 3. In that case, we'll take all that. It's not very clear. But if this is a 1 and a 2, what I would want to see is a move finish at a 161.8 to suggest me a 3. If this is a 1 and this is a 2, we are in the territory of the 3. But this 1, 2 doesn't look to have a 4 yet. Or maybe 1, 2, 3. This is some kind of 4. Going for the 5th to finish a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the idea for 5th. Yeah, so you know it's unclear. What is clear is that I can read an impulse here on the lower time frame. That's the only one I can clear with certainty. Here it looked like a pretty good impulse. Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this is a complete 1, 2, and a sub 1, 2? That's mostly the question I have at the moment. And that will depend of where do we get a bigger bounce and what is got the most confluence when we get the bigger bounce for what wave 3 get a good target there. So still work to do here. Still work to do. So I review the item frame count. Yeah, I did all right. Main idea is, I'm gonna repeat the same, but that's the most important. It can be in a running flat. It's still possible, especially if we find support at the previous consolidation here, 20,800. It's still possible that we print a 5th and that can still be expanded flat or 1, 2. We can be in a sub 2 that will retrace longer before going. And pretty much it. And if we break down, I would not necessarily expect this to happen right away. But again, look below previous low with a bit of room, you know. I would not expect just a small SFP on that. There will be so much stop to be triggering liquidation here. Monthly is kind of the minimum we would expect a liquidation week to get us. But 9K is back on the table with such a small move. It happened in such a context here that I have to get back that idea in mind now. DXY is running back up. Where would DXY go? I don't know, but maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on A, come back, and ABC. We still have pretty much impulsive move down on DXY. So if we keep this high time frame correlation that we used to have on Bitcoin, if DXY print a macro top, this can still be a bottom as long as we don't lose support, right? So I still have this hope. But the setting is so controlled and forced here, and forbidden any FOMO, that it feels weird to me. It reminds me, to be fair, of what happened here at the top, where we don't had a clean finish on the 5th wave. We have something that looked like 3 wave. For the 5th, we have a nice ending diagonal formation, right? But usually you expect some kind of blow top on Bitcoin, and here you don't really get it, apart if you consider all of that control blow top. It's not blow top like in the past, right? And you don't have this clean finish on the fifth. It's like it been kept below its target it should have got. Even this low rising and just slightly above previous high, nothing blowed off. And if this is a complete 5, that kind of the same 1, 2, 3, 4 little fifths that cannot manage to get its blow off. And coming in the same time that the US government stuff going to attack the crypto industry, it is setting pretty good for drawdown. Let's say it doesn't feel good. So well, I guess that's gonna be it for today. I'm done talking bad about Bitcoin. Magic spread is still pretty much red, so it doesn't seem that Bitfinex is buying much. Might have to verify this. Maybe it's Coinbase that is buying up a lot and making this indicator a bit less. Because we can see there is some bidder here, and there is one big walls where we are right now. 1,000 here on USDT Binance. On futures as well, there's a few thousands bids here. We're entering into a wall of bids, and we can see the bids as well on Bitfinex. Where's the footprint here? On the delta, that's not that much bought up. So we'll see if we can manage to show a bit of market structure change locally. But sellers are still pretty much in control. You see this aggressive seller got squeezed slightly, but overall keeping control. And just long getting wrecked, coming back heavily into each meaningless bounce, and getting wrecked, coming back and getting wrecked, keep getting wrecked. People keep buying the dip here so far, and each meaningless bounce. We have green delta that failed here. It's not even great. So there is no much question. What else can I look at? Sunbase maybe quickly. But we already saw that Big Wallet seems to have been unloading supply for quite a while. Oh, I still have my trial here. Yeah. I think so, yeah. Those big wallets have not been buying much here. I've been a bit well here at the low, and here slightly uptrending, but not too much. Aggregated. You can see the 100 to 100,000. It's still diminishing. When ones are growing, it's 10 to 1000. 10 to 100, 100 to 1000. Yeah, it's mostly the 10 to 100 that have been growing into the downtrend. Now, I'm looking a bit at the on-chain data, but it's not extremely clear. And the small one have been clearly growing. I'm taking this with a grain of salt. Because this data can be manipulated, especially as we get further new protocol updates, etc., that allow multi-wallet transactions, etc. But if we look at the at the obvious picture, it seems that the big one have been mostly selling on the whole drawdown. So that's not encouraging. Or it can be encouraging if you want to buy Bitcoin way lower. Would be happy to do it. Okay, so I guess we will see next week. Mate, don't feel so bearish. We're gonna print a good wave 4 and then go for the moon. You will see. Okay. I mean, it's still possible. I will gladly be proven wrong, right? One more time. I just need to see it, to think about it. Until I see this, I cannot be. It just happened where I didn't want it to happen. That's exactly what I didn't want to see. That's why I ignore a bit that scenario, because I felt that would be not great in that context. A bit hard to explain everything. I tried to. I think I explained most of it. It's also a gut feeling, But there was not that much FOMO. There was a bit of FOMO, but not that much. And there is aggressive and controlled selling. That is what we'll see. If there is the same thing that happened later, we'll see. But as we broke down a range, we can expect the same kind of as long of a range almost for the other side, or half the time if it get more aggressive. But yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good weekend. I think I'm gonna peace out this weekend again, as the last 2 or 3 weekends was hard to stay away from the chat. So this week I'm gonna do for sure, and hopefully next week I will have even a clearer mind on the math. See you all soon. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the nice comment. Appreciate you all. Take care and see you soon. Bye.